HowExpert! Top 10 Nursing Tips and Lessons. How to be an excellent nurse for all aspiring and current nurses. HowExpert publishes quick how-to guides on all topics from A to Z by everyday experts. Visit HowExpert.com to learn more. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more HowExpert Top 10 videos in the future. Moving on, let's talk about the HowExpert Top 10 Nursing Tips and Lessons. Number 1. Be flexible. Working in healthcare is amazing because there is always something new to learn. Medicine is constantly changing and improving, and as a nurse, you should try to change and improve with it. The most detrimental thing that you can do as any kind of healthcare provider is to keep doing something just because that's how it's always been done. Don't be afraid to change your practice based on new knowledge. Number 2. Be patient with your patients. Remember, a typical day for you at work is a stressful day for your patient. Try to remember that the alarms and machines in the hospital are scary for someone who isn't used to being around them. If your patient is constantly calling for help with minor things, try not to get frustrated. Remember that an important part of being a nurse is to take care of the emotional needs of your patient. Number 3. Find a specialty you love. Having a nursing career doesn't mean that you have to work in a hospital or a nursing home. There are hundreds of different jobs available for nurses. Take opportunities whenever you can to visit different units or clinics. Spend a day in the operating room or the cardiac lab. Maybe talk to someone in home health or outpatient care about their experience. Whatever you do, do not stay in a unit that drains you or your passion for nursing. With so many different possibilities, there is no reason you can't find a job that you love. Number 4. Ask questions. There is nothing more dangerous than a nurse who pretends to know something that they don't. If you're unsure of something or have a bad feeling, stop and ask. It's always better to have felt silly asking a question than to make a mistake that harms someone. Speak up during rounding with the physicians and ask them to explain why you're changing the plan of care. Ask your charge nurse why she performs a procedure differently than you do. Ask the pharmacist to tell you about a new medication. Medicine is constantly changing, and nurses should never stop learning. One of the best things about being a nurse is that there is always something new to learn and always a way to improve. Never stop asking questions. Number 5. Be a team player. Being a nurse can be challenging, especially on a busy unit or on days with short staffing. On those busy days, try to remember that most nurses enter the field because they want to help people. Sometimes nurses get so busy helping their patients that they forget about helping each other. A good rule of thumb for any unit is to rise and fall together. There should never be one nurse who had a terrible busy day on her own. If you see a couple workers struggling, do what you can to help them. Helping coworkers in need creates a culture of teamwork that can spread throughout an entire organization. Teamwork will not only improve job satisfaction, but it improves patient care as well. Number 6. Give your coworkers grace. Along the lines of being a team player, remember that everyone has good and bad days. Everyone has strengths and weaknesses. There's nothing that can bring a unit down like coworkers who are unkind to each other. Every day at work, assume that each member of your team wants to do a great job and give them some encouragement along the way. Give compliments as often as you can think of them and keep criticism to yourself. This doesn't mean that you should ignore unsafe practices or let medication errors slide. Rather, it means that you start each interaction with anyone under the assumption that they mean well and want to do a great job. Number 7. Stay calm. It is safe to assume that every nurse will one day find themselves in an emergency that terrifies them. A declining patient or a family member threatening violence, maybe a medication error or a surgery gone wrong. No matter what the emergency is, you have to remember to stay calm. It is always better to take your time doing something correctly than to rush through and have to correct an error. When a crisis arises, take a deep breath and be deliberate in your words and actions. Stay as calm as you can and remember that it's okay to call for help if you are feeling too overwhelmed. Number 8. Prepare for the worst. This doesn't mean that you need to be a pessimist. However, each morning you arrive at work, you should ask yourself what you would do in a worst-case scenario. For example, working in a cardiac unit means that your patients are probably at high risk for a heart attack. Think through what you would do if your patient suddenly complained of heart attack symptoms. That way, if the worst were to happen, you already have a plan in place, and it becomes much easier to follow tip number 7, stay calm. Number 9, leave work at work. First responders and healthcare workers are exposed to a lot of trauma. Surrounding yourself with the sick and dying day after day can take a toll on your mental health. For this reason, it's important that when you leave work, you do your best to let whatever happened at work go and focus on taking care of yourself and your family at home. Many hospital units will debrief after a traumatic event, allowing the caregivers to discuss their feelings with each other before they leave to return to their homes. Finding a trusted friend or therapist can help you deal with those feelings. Number 10, remember that you do make a difference. Despite regularly seeing illness and death, you must not lose hope. Nurses are one of the most trusted professions in the world, and it's not uncommon for patients to talk fondly about the nurses who took care of them in their worst moments. Nurses get to make a real difference in people's lives every day. Remember how important you are and how much you are appreciated. If you liked our video, make sure to click like and subscribe for more HowExpert Top 10 videos for all topics from A to Z in the future. Also, let us know what other topics you want us to do a HowExpert Top 10 video for in the future in the comments below. Thank you, have an amazing day, and take care.